Thought I'd make a video of here in the side yard. Got a gigantic bee. I always love the way that bull nettle looks. It has the most amazing looking flower, but you don't ever want to touch it. I'm gonna let all this tall stuff grow up as high as it wants to get, and these things will grow as tall as me, good 6-ish feet, and they look awesome. Just don't want to get into them ever. But I also wanted to show over here how ridiculous our fire ant issues are getting. This is a large mound that covered in diatomaceous earth. There's a small mound here, and another large mound here, and probably about 30 little small mounds just between here and the corner of the house. I've got some orange oil coming in from Amazon because it's kind of hard to find around here. And once I get that in, I'll come treat these little mounds of fire ants. They're also kind of coming up next to the septic. I really don't want them anywhere near the electrical system of the septic tank because they will just destroy it. And that's a brand new septic tank, so don't want that. Here is our garden bed. Oh, I still zoomed in a little bit. So I wasn't sure what the success rate was going to be on our daikon radish, so I was putting like 3 or 4 seeds per hole. Both of these places. Some of that out. And it looks like all the seeds took. So we're gonna have a good little corner of radish over here. And again, this is where we had planted most of our cabbage seed. They did very poorly through the winter, which I was surprised about. But they are trying to come up right now with a vengeance. Have no idea if they're going to produce before it gets too hot for them, but we'll find out. They're constantly shedding leaves, which is breaking down and doing great for the garden bed. A few more onions, because why not see how they do here. Trying to remember what it is. Some type of squash or something that I planted. It's terrible. I bought them, I planted them, and I can't remember what they are. But they're doing well. Almost everything is doing well in this bed except for, I think my wife tried to do tomato from seed and they just never came up. So overall the garden bed's been good. I need to come through and weed it out a little bit. These little things are just coming up all over the place. Every single day I have to come out here. But I guess that's good news. Oh, and this tragic looking plant. This was catnip. And it was a huge bushy plant when we got it. We put it on the back porch where there are 3 stray kittens and 1 stray cat. And this is what it looked like after a couple of days. So we moved it to the front. They don't mess with it as much here. I don't know what's going to happen to this thing. Got some basil and some English thyme. My wife put over here, I guess, for probably to keep the cats from killing it. And I still need to mow the front yard too. Yeah, there's my truck. It's currently for sale because I haven't used it in quite some time. But let's go take a look at the persimmon trees. Again, this is another tree that had fire ant issues and apparently still does. Man, I've tried to get rid of these guys 2 or 3 different ways. Okay, thought that was a broken branch. There's just a little bug on there. This one's starting to come up. Right here. Wow, there's just no way that's gonna focus. Let's try a hand on the other side here. Maybe I shouldn't use my phone to try to do things like focus. But this persimmon is also starting to put out some little sprouts, little leaves. This one does not have a fire ant problem. This one did have a fire ant problem, but it's also coming up. You'll notice there's a hole in the ground right here. This was how I got rid of this fire ant mound, is I ran a water hose as deep as I could and flushed them out. Hopefully that won't do anything bad to the roots, but seemed effective for the fire ants. This is the little guy that's doing the best. And I'm not sure why he's doing so much better than the other ones. He doesn't get any more attention, he doesn't get watered anymore. And he's also the one that's the closest to danger next to our driveway. Every time someone goes and turns around, I'm worried about this tree. But no one's run it over so far. This is blueberry. This one didn't survive. I really don't think the soil pH is correct here. I say it didn't survive, but maybe it is. Well, my wife told me it didn't survive, so she bought another one. I think it's in a pot somewhere. This one, planted at the same time, bought from the same place, is doing much better. Got some red bud. It's quickly being taken over by everything in the world, so I need to do some weed eating around it. But the tree itself is doing well. Another one here that's put on a couple of leaves. Hopefully it will continue to thrive. Oh, and there's a mama cat. Little head. Yeah, she's not gonna stick around. She is pregnant again. We were trying to catch her between pregnancies to get her fixed, but she has an amazingly short time between when she stops feeding her other kittens and gets pregnant again. So maybe after the next batch we can catch her and take her in to get her fixed, along with all of her kittens. There's another one just hanging out over here, which I don't think you can see. Oh, this red bud has a brand new tiny little anthill. I really would love to know how to dissuade the ants from my trees. But having lived here my whole life, I haven't found anything that dissuades fire ants effectively. Oh, well, we got 2 hammocks, and my wife wanted them side by side. I can tell you, since we put them both up, we have not both been out here at the same time. So I'm thinking about moving one of them down by the pond. These were 25 bucks each at Sam's. For 25 bucks, I would recommend them. If they cost 50 bucks, I would not recommend them. But they work for us, and it's pretty nice to lay out here on a cool day. And that pretty much brings us back here. We have plenty more property, but there isn't a whole lot we're doing with the rest of it. Of course, up by the mailbox, we've got a couple of trees planted, but that's about it. I will say, Ariel, my wife, and this is fairly newlywed, wants this tree, which is a cedar that is probably dead. It hasn't shown any signs of life since we've lived here. That tree is going to come down. Probably going to try to plank it out. Actually, we have some other plans for it too. Plan to take a section of the thinner trunk and replace this post that's holding up the corner of the roof there. I really want to cut out a section of one of these cedar trees and make it a post, because I think it'll look cool and will last longer. This cedar tree is going to stay. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And so is this one over here. He's showing signs of life. However, got one here. Yep, sorry, that's probably really disorienting. I'll stop that. Here on the left and the right side of this little path, one of them does show signs of life, but my wife doesn't like them. They do kind of block a little bit of the view. So we're going to take them down. We're going to plank them out and do some stuff. If we don't want it, my neighbor would love to have them, so he'll probably help me out with that, and we'll come to a deal, split some wood with him. These two cedar trees are going to stay. They're doing pretty well. And we got another big cedar here that is going to stay. I was able to clear out around it this past year. This winter things became way more accessible when the overgrowth kind of thinned out a little bit. Still need to do some serious trimming on the lower branches here. This stuff that's just hanging down will be cut off. But otherwise it's a great shade tree. And plenty of stuff I want to do across the pond, but it just isn't a priority right now. We'll have to monitor the kudzu that's coming in from the neighbor's property. Have to keep that in check this year, because we spent weeks trying to keep it from killing off all of our trees over there. Grown an impressive net. That's it for now. Come back with some further updates at some point.